Hi guys, good morning from the Swisher Homestead. How you doing this morning? It's Saturday. I love Saturdays. Wow, we got a lot to do in our garden, as you see. I really hate to do this, but I got a confession to make. Yes, I've been a bad person. I have to stop buying plants for my garden when I don't have the room in my garden to buy plants for.
He's addicted.
I'm addicted. I just keep buying more and more plants. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with all these. But anyways, that's my confession for today. Alright, so our idea today, we're gonna strictly work in the garden. This is gonna be, what stage tomatoes is this now? 4?
Yes.
This is gonna be part 4 of the 5-part series on how to set up your tomatoes, make runners for them for the support of the heavy tomatoes. Let me tell you, my tomatoes get really big. I'm talking 4 foot wide. This is no joke. So we've got to have the weight for me. Now I am going to show you another trick on how to do some stuff at your house with some leftover stuff you got. Sorry about that. That was the chickens. Man, these chickens are crazy. I haven't gotten any eggs yet. I don't know where my eggs are at. I keep asking them every morning, where are my eggs, girls? Where are my eggs? So you're gonna get to see me construct and build my own setup that I use for our homestead for tomatoes, and stuff that I've used a long time ago when I was doing gardening at our old house in Florida and everything. And I'll tell you what, you know, gardening here is so much different than Florida, and I've learned so much about soil contents and that. I did go out and buy some 7 to use on my plants as emergency use. Only an emergency. Right now I am having no problems in my garden with anything right now. Nothing, thank God, knock on wood. Nothing. So we're gonna get to it. Amy's got a lot of plants to plant. She's probably got about, I don't know, 40 plants to plant today because of me. And we got to add on to our garden because I have some of my acorn squash and seedlings I started. I'll let you guys take a look at that. And my pumpkins. So right here are all my acorn squash that I got going. And right there is my one pumpkin. The other pumpkins haven't come up yet. I don't know why, but they'll eventually come up. Now, see, this is where I get into that plant problem where I just keep planting. So I got my San Marzano tomatoes. Those are not ready to plant yet. We're gonna give that probably another week and then we'll plant those. I just gotta find room to plant all this stuff. I got cayenne peppers I need to plant. Oh, the big thing that we're planting, the reason why we're gonna do this little expansion here, and it's gonna be a real basic expansion, but here. These are my seedlings right now. As you can see, they've come up. These are my seedlings for our okra plants. Now let me tell you, okra gets really big. And I mean circumference, I mean height, I mean they get huge. They're like a tree basically. So by that, problem being is that, you know, once they get up to about 4 foot tall, they're pretty good on their own. You pretty much not have to worry, but I seem to have a goat, a free-ranged goat that's coming around and eating my grass, and apparently possibly got our raspberries, our blackberries, our bushes are gone. So those are lost out. That was a fail. Watching the chickens here, I'll show you. This is what I keep getting deterred by. Look at the chicken in the nesting box. She's up there, she don't know what to do. She's like, should I come out, should I stay? But they're not laying yet, so I kind of leave the nesting box open for them so they can kind of just play around. We got Hey Hey, our rooster, he's right there. That's Hey Hey. I'm waiting for him to give a crow. Come on. Come on, squawk some words. But yeah, our chickens are doing phenomenal. Our chicken pen's awesome. I did finish the house, or the soon-to-be shop, which is our house right now. Our house is being built as we speak, at least the exterior. The interior we'll do all on our own, but you can kind of get an idea. So you're up in the coop right there. Something to goof. My chickens are crazy. I got some crazy chickens, but I love some chickens. I have put in T-posts to start our fencing area. I'll do a thing on that. I'm sorry if you guys don't get to watch the whole video of me putting the fence posts in and all that. I jump around so much on the homestead doing certain things because I'll remember, okay, I have this project to get done. I did do a little project when we had some rain. I hung up all of our tools on the inside of the garden area. Amy's got her little holder for her shovel for doing the garden. We put our wand right up top. Now what I did, which is a really cool idea for you guys, you might want to do this, but you know, you never know, stuff on a homestead gets stolen, and I hate to say that, but it happens. So what I do is, fine, let it get stolen, because what I do is I put all the numbers right up here of what I have. Then that way the police come, you say, here's the numbers for it, this is it. So if it gets pawned or gets put somewhere, they have the numbers, they'll be able to trace it right away. Boom, there you go, got it back. And the person who done that is going to jail. At least I hope they are. So I don't believe in theft. I believe if you need it, you ask for it. If you have it, you can give it. If not, then you can't give it. So Amy, what do you say?
I'm ready to get planting.
You ready to get planting?
Yep.
Well, let's do it. All right, guys. So we got some wood fence that we had left over from our garden when we did the outer perimeter of our garden, as you see around there. And I'm going to show you how to make little tomato cages and big tomato cages, and I'm going to show you how I do my runners. I do my runners like a grid, but you'll get to see that here shortly. So let me go ahead and show you how I make my smalls, so you kind of get an idea. It's very, very simple, very easy. Because, you know, if you have some fence left over, it doesn't matter if it's 6 foot, if it's 5 foot, 4 foot, it'll work. And don't worry about the small squares, because if you start to plant early, or if you put these on there early when they're still small tomato plants, they will actually work their way through the small squares. So if you ever get this thing undone, would be nice. So I have some tomatoes right now, which were if you guys watched part of the series, I think it was 2, and part 1, when I talked about the ones that we're working on right now as tester tomato plants. So you gotta be careful, because man, this stuff will get caught up on everything. It can kind of be a pain in the butt. So what we're gonna do is we want a circumference of roughly, these are 2-inch holes in here, 2 inches. So we're probably gonna go, I'd say, in a circle, let me get this unrolled first, and then we'll get into the other. Come on already. Just don't want to get poked in the face with it. Really? Come on. There. Alright. It's going to spring on me. Yes, it is. Alright, so we got our grid now for what we're going to use for our tomato plants. Now the tomato plants are pretty small yet, and the stalks, I'm doing these as shorts. So these would be about 10 inches tall. And then I'll show you how to wire them together. We have enough here to make 2 holders for, well actually, yeah, probably enough to do about 2 to 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut down these. I mean, it's just a way to save money. I notice a lot of the YouTubers out there are using cattle panels. You know, cattle panels are $20 a pop. This is leftover fence that I'm showing you can use this. And then the other way is about what it costs for one panel to do all my tomatoes. Well, half of my tomatoes. Versus if I'd use the cattle panels, I would probably need 2, 4, 6, 8 panels at $20 a panel. That's pretty expensive. So I try to come up with ways to save money where I'm not spending a ton of money. So what I do is I take this and I'll fold this together like this. I'll try to get it to where it's just right for me, which is a square over square. And then I buy the wire, which there's enough wire here. This wire lasts forever. So you don't need to buy as big as a spool. They sell them in smaller amounts. And I'm going to cut a piece of this off. I'm trying to hold on to everything. See Amy in the background, she's breaking up the dirt for the plantings that she's going to have to do. Oh. Now I didn't want to have these all cut and ready. I wanted you guys to see me actually. Yes, hey, we understand. To see that what we're doing here, and to show you I'm doing it not already pre-made and everything. I'm doing it right as we're doing this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this top half and you're going to go one square over, overlap the squares like that. And I'm going to take this wire I got and I'm going to run this wire through. And what I'm doing is I'm basically weaving it in and out, over top and around it, so that way it holds it together. I don't want to twist tie it. I'm going to tell you why. I don't want to twist tie it because I want to be able to take this apart easier. If you twist tie it, you know, you got to have more tools on hand to do it. I have the tools, but I just don't like twist tie it, so I do it this way. Now we have a tomato plant from the last storm we had come in a couple of nights ago, take a plunder and fall over. So we need to get this done. We're planning on doing it this weekend anyway, but that plant just ensured that we can't be playing around. We need to get it done. Now, lock that in place. I'll form it out so I get my cage set up. And look, tomato cage. Built in a matter of minutes. Didn't have to go buy it. Used a piece of old fence and some wire, and it's done. I'm gonna go over and I'll show you. I'll put that on that tomato plant. So let's go over and show you what it's like. Tomato plant. See, Amy's working real hard over here. Sweating it today. It's gonna be hot. It's supposed to be 94.
This is what you have to do when the tiller won't start.
Yeah. Alright, so we got a tomato plant over here that's down on his luck, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this around him. Get him standing upright. So I grab from the bottom. I grab all the leaves, I fold them into the center. Right down around the outer edge. And then I push it down in. And voila. We now have our tomato plant to hold our tomatoes. And you can pull a couple of those off. Put it up in there, let it do its own thing, it'll go through, and there you go. There's my tomato plant cage, made from some old wire to hold it up so it doesn't fall over anymore. The tomatoes will crawl out here themselves. They'll go outside, so we don't need to push them outside like that. They'll do it on their own. That's one of my tips and tricks. Real quick, real simple, real basic. A little piece of wire, you can use copper wire, doesn't matter, it won't hurt the plants. Put it in a cage like that. That gives it some stability, keeps it up, keeps it going. And I got a bunch of cages to make because I got to get all this done. And then you're going to be able to see me do my grid pattern for my tomatoes here. which is going to take some work. So we'll be right back with that one next. Well, good morning from the Swisher Homestead. I'm Justin, and that's Amy, hanging out, getting ready to do the installment, the final, or not the final installment, but the final installment from yesterday's pre-video that we did to show you guys how to set up your tomatoes and not use tomato stakes or the stupid tomato cages they sell at the stores that are absolutely useless anyway. All right, so to start out, we got ourselves some T-posts. Thing you know, this is a T-post right here. All right, and then you have what we call our T-post driver. This is what you drive the T-post in. Do not use a hammer, it will take you forever. Use a T-post. Some work, build the upper body. Get your chest nice and tight from using that thing as much as I have right now. But so as you can see, we've put the T-post in. This is going to be for another run that we've got coming up. We got the one set up for the tomatoes. These are ready, and we got one set up for our pepper plants. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do this. There's no reason to do tomato cages, and there is definitely no reason to spend the money and get cattle panels. Now some of you might like cattle panels, that's fine. The T-posts work just as well as the cattle panels, actually better and inexpensive. These two posts right here, just these two, will cost you around $7, some change. So $7 and some change versus 20 bucks to run a run. Nah, I ain't doing that. Now, what I showed you yesterday's, when we were doing the video yesterday, is I made my tomato cages. These are the cages I made. Everything gets used on the homestead. Nothing goes to waste. So these are the tomato cages that I made for the tomatoes. And I used the old fence, welded fence that we used here to make those. Took a little bit of wire. I showed you guys how to do it. And there's our tomato cages. They're perfect. They'll do the job. They didn't cost me anything but a little bit of my time. Now, we're going to show you how to make your grid for your tomato plants to hang so your tomatoes can grow up on them and not have to worry about them falling over or tipping. And let me tell you, this really works, and it's inexpensive. All right, guys, so we're back. So this is what I'm using. Now this is 200 feet. It cost you about 15 bucks, 14 gauge wire, and this is what I use to make my trellises, basically in simulation, out of the T-posts, so we can set you up so you see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand this to Amy, and she's going to go all the way down to the other side of the T-post, go around, and I'm going to tie it right here. Now as the tomato plants get bigger, we'll do it again. So we're doing right now, we're doing 5 to 6 from the bottom on this first run because the tomatoes are so big. And then we'll let it grow a little bit, and we'll do another one and another one and another one. And that just gives more stability as you go up on the T-post for the tomato plants. And let me tell you, these T-posts are steel, they're indestructible, and they will last. Not like the wood ones, not like the little metal ones, not like the wood ones you buy. You have to buy oak ones if you're going to use good ones. The ones they sell have paint on them and stuff, like, of course the T-posts have paint too, but I mean, just cost-wise, efficiently of reuse, this is a lot better. I don't like wood posts. I like to be able to control it like this, and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. So at that point, let's get this camera set up, and you can see Amy unwind off of this T-post all the way down to the other side. All right, Ames, you ready?
Yep.
All right, grab that. Go ahead and go down. Now remember, we're going on notch 5 on these up. You want something, my tomato plants, the stalks get probably about that big. They get pretty big, so you'll get to see them. She'll go around, she'll come back to me, and then, what do I do with my cutters? Oh, I'll have my cutters on the table. I gotta go get my cutters.
I'll go get them.
All right, Amy's gonna go get my cutters for me. Thank you, hey, we appreciate it, brother. Telling us. Thank you. Thank you for preaching the Lord. So. We know, we got you. We got your back.
He's talking to the other rooster.
We got another homesteader with a rooster, and they talk back and forth. I think they tell each other what's going on for the day and what they see. And so Amy's went and got my tool. These two tools I use. I've had these tools forever. Amy, if you come over here, or go ahead and put that on 5, please. And then I'll have you come over and hold the spool, and I'll. All right. Well, give me a little warning when you're gonna pull it, please. Get around that tomato plant so we don't hurt the tomatoes.
No, tender
Okay.
tomatoes. Let's see. Let me make sure it's still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Okay. Another thing is you're not putting strain by tying to the tomato plant or not giving it enough room so it can grow on its own. That's the plus about doing this. This works really well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. I'm going to pull it as tight as I can get it. Wrap it around. Now this is the hardest part right here. If you're gonna do it, this is gonna be the hardest part. Alright. Get enough to loop it around. Then I'm gonna take my pliers here, get my angle, and start twisting. And then to make sure, because you don't want the jagged edges sitting out, so you walk by and you cut your leg open, because this stuff gets sharp, man. I'm going to cut this. Don't throw this stuff back in your garden, put it in your hand. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it inward. Well, attempt to turn it inward. There we go. Now when you walk past anywhere around it, you don't cut yourself. Even if you reach in, you don't cut yourself. But that's our idea, and that's how we do it at the homestead. Now, Amy, if you'll pan down, you'll show them how the tomatoes are going to be. Now, sometimes you will have this where it seems like it's pulling on the plant. So all we're going to do is just put over like that. This will hold the weight, trust me. This will definitely hold the weight. I'm going to move this T-post over a little bit. That's the nice thing about these T-posts. You can bend them a little. It'll take that pressure off of those tomato plants. And there you go. There are the runners for the tomato plants. We've done both of these. We've got our pepper plants. That's done. That pretty much covers our grade. Now, if this becomes too much weight for the tomato plant, what I'll do is I'll take another T-post and I'll put it in the middle, and I'll tie a grid through that T-post, and I'll put one up front here, and I'll put one up front here, and then I'll tie a grid through it all the way up. Now as these grow, we're going to run another one. So when it gets about this high, we're going to run another line. When it gets this high, we'll run another one. When we reach the top, we'll run one last one on the very top, and that'll be our support. No stakes, no nothing, and you can reuse this. You can reuse this for a lot of things. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So nothing goes to waste on the homestead. This right here, to do this whole entire area, costed us $50. And I still have plenty of wire left. I still have plenty of T-posts left, but $50. One cattle panel is $20. So you got to figure, I buy a cattle panel, 2 of them to do the sides of the tomatoes, or you're going to tie up the tomatoes, which is bad because you're holding the tomato back from growing when you do that. The tomato's going to go up. When it goes up, it's going to pull that up, and then you're going to have to untie it and retie it again. Not with this. With this theory, it comes right up. It's not in the way, as you can see, as you're going down. You don't have a big cattle panel here. This is confining space and area to work within your tomatoes. You still pull weeds. You don't have a cattle panel you got to reach through to get your tomatoes. This is it. It works. It's simple. It's fast. And it's cheap. Wow. We got a lot of stuff to do today. So on the next video you're going to see up here, we're going to take you through a quick tour of the garden and show you how well the garden's doing. So at this point, I'm Justin.
I'm Amy.
And this is the Swisher Homestead. And we hope that you like the setup that we did. We hope that you understand why I do what I do. And this will work for you. Trust me. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of muscle, but you can do this too. So at that point, guys, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and definitely the thumbs up. Tell your friends that if you've never been here before and seen our YouTube channel or watched any of our videos, try them out, man, because we've got a lot of little tips and stuff to give you. And we're also learning. So you get to see us make big mistakes, especially me. I'm kind of a nut when it comes to making mistakes. You're going to see me doing my thing. But at that point, guys, we'll see you later. You guys have a good one. God bless you. It's Sunday. We're going to finish this up. We'll probably take the rest of the day off because even God takes a day off. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye now.